Hi everyone, so I have a video on MØN skin today, and it's sort of been a long time coming. I met MØN and me for dessert and tea and ended up talking for I think a lot longer than we were expecting to, and it was lovely. We really connected. When an opportunity like that comes up, I want to make sure that I reap as much to maximize, right, the experience. So really hearing everything firsthand from her was fantastic, and it gave me a lot of insight that I might not have gotten otherwise, and which obviously I can pass on to you, which is really exciting. Tips and tricks and the brand story, and she's so cute. Hi, MÖN. She's so cute, luminous skin, really just a very kind soul that you really want to just sit and talk with for hours. I mean, honestly, we had our tea and we were just talking like about everything, and we were talking about blogging and makeup artistry, and that's actually why I'm wearing this shirt. So the story goes, I wore my Mila Jovovich version of this. This is the Marc Jacobs Protect the Skin You're In shirt, which I don't know if they make anymore. I don't think they do, which truly breaks my heart. I got these back in 4 years ago when I lived in LA, and because I'm obsessed with supermodels and nudity and Marc Jacobs, and still am, and these are still like my prized t-shirts, and I try to take good care of them. So I wore the green one, almost wore this one, and come to find out, MÖN and me actually did this makeup on Naomi for this shoot. And so hearing that story was amazing, and I think that situation, that is sort of a metaphor for the friendship that MÖN and me and I have formed, and it's really lovely. And I still am going to obviously approach everything from a product perspective and take all of that out, but of course it's going to influence how I feel about the products when I really feel like she's achieved what she set out to do. You know what I mean? So, but I'm always going to tell it like it is. So prickly pear seed oil is a pretty cool little oil. It has a ton of vitamin E, which is obviously a potent antioxidant and skin conditioning agent. It also has a lot of vitamin K, which makes it great for under the eyes. It helps with circulation. And it also has a ton of omega-6, which is also linoleic acid, and I believe vitamin F. I think you could use them interchangeably because vitamin F is strange in that it's structured more like a fat than it is a vitamin. And the great thing about linoleic acid is it helps to dislodge sebum from in the pore. It's one of those oils that people with oily or blemish-prone skin tend to get on really well with, and find that not only will it reduce the inflammation, but it'll sort of help to improve that congestion over time. And I guess we'll just go out of order and start with the serum, because it was the first product, and it's the product that has the most of this prickly pear seed oil in it. It's the kind of product that you put on, and my favorite thing is I'll wash my face, right? Just look in the mirror and then head back into my room. Sometimes I'll do a spritz or a hydrating serum or both, and then press this on top. And then when I go back to the mirror to just check what my face looks like, my skin is brighter. And especially if you use it around the under eye area, you do notice a little bit more brightness, a little bit more luminosity. It's the kind of evenness in tone that looks like your skin is very calm, that the inflammation has been reduced. I wouldn't say that I flush easily or that my skin is redness prone, but the fact that it really did make my tone look extremely even, and it does every single time that you use it, and you notice more evenness sort of as it wears. I've seen it make an immediate difference in my skin, and checking off all of those boxes that MÖN and me brought up. If my skin is irritated, it does calm it down. If my eye area looks a little dull, it does brighten it up. If my skin feels like it could use a little moisture, a little bit of conditioning, it does take care of that as well. It's not a thick oil at all. I don't want to waste it though. I really like it a lot. The scent is sort of like toasted rose petals. It's really beautiful. It's not at all like aromatic or so Aknari, personally, it's my favorite product out of the range. I think in terms of application, in terms of the immediate difference that it makes in the skin. Interestingly though, it's not the product that I put in Greatest Hits. I put Argan in Greatest Hits, and I stand by that. The reason for me that this is so unique and I had to kind of draw special attention to it is, well, there's a story involved, of course. So I was never one that really connected with single origin oil formulas. I figured if I'm buying an oil, I might as well buy a blend. If oils have different components to them that will benefit the skin, why not buy a blend, right? And I still, for the most part, stand by that. If I'm investing money in an oil serum or an oil, I tend to want to have a blend. It's by preference, right? However, I do recognize that an oil is an oil, right? And an oil has a lot of different complex elements to it in terms of omegas, fatty acids, vitamins, minerals, etc. And it's still going to be great for the skin, even if you're just using one single origin oil. So when I tried this, the first time I used it, it was on the body. And I think instinctively, because this bottle's so big, I just thought to use it on my body. Loved it. The thing that MÖN told me about this argan that's special is it doesn't really have that argan scent. It doesn't have that sort of nuttiness to it. So for me, it's great if I'm wearing a fragrance and I don't want the scent to compete with my body lotion or my beautiful, fragranced, essentially, green beauty body oils or whatever the case may be. This is a really great base for that. It's also fantastic used just on the skin. Sometimes if I, get home and I feel really gross and I just want to wash my face and throw something on while I'm cooking dinner or whatever the case may be, something like this, for me, it's perfect because I don't want to fuss with anything more complex. And for me, there's no need to while I'm just sort of hanging out. But it does moisturize, it does nourish, it does give the skin a very soft, slightly slick, I would say, feel. And again, I mentioned the size of the bottle. This is huge. It's 6.7 ounces. There's a lot of argan oils that are sold for 1.7 ounces that are anywhere from $40 to $80, whereas this is 6.7. It's one of the only beauty products that I own that I can feel confident in using completely head to toe. Sometimes I put it in my hair, sometimes I use it on my face. Most of the time I use it on my body. It's especially nice on the legs for me because I have hair on my legs, and argan is great obviously on the hair. It's super moisturizing and nourishing. Because it is sort of in a class of its own for me in terms of how I use it. That's why I got put in greatest hits. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's argan oil. There are other argan oils in the world that exist. I really like this, and I have since this actually used other argan oils, and I still come back to this. It feels the most refined. The lack of scent is nice for me personally. Although I do like the nutty smell of argan as well. And the bottle's huge. So you can feel good about using a ton of it. If you wanted to just do 5 or 6 pumps and spread it all over your face and your body, you could totally do that and not feel like, oh my God, I've used half the bottle. While we are on the body, let's talk about Ayour. Now this is an interesting little bugger because, I say that with love, of course. It's the only product out of the range that I feel like has a very significant scent, and there's a lavender vibe to it, which I'm really into. It's become pretty much my go-to nighttime body oil for that reason, of course. But not only that, it's quite lightweight. So MÖN was explaining that she wanted a product that had all of the benefits of an oil, which this does. It's olive, cucumber, rosehip, prickly pear, lavender, vitamin E, frankincense, marjoram, and neroli. But in a product that absorbed like a very lightweight body lotion would, where you can get dressed pretty much immediately after. And she succeeded. If you apply this into damp skin, it's gone. It's absorbed. It has done its job. It feels quite significantly moisturizing, but to the touch, it doesn't really feel like you've applied an oil so much as a very light velvety body lotion in a way. Prickly pear obviously has all those benefits for the skin, right? A customer had reported that it had reduced the appearance of stretch marks in their hips, and that she had actually been taking pictures of her progress. And so she continued to use the product, and sure enough, they looked less noticeable. It's obviously not going to get rid of them. No over-the-counter product will. It's just, obviously, at least with this specific instance, it did make them look less noticeable. So that's all I'll say. I don't want to come out and make any specific claims because it does depend from person to person. I haven't been using it that way long enough or with enough frequency to see a difference, but I also didn't approach it that way. For me, I like it most on my arms and my chest, especially my chest. I feel like it's really firming and kind of strengthening. It's a gorgeous product. It's fantastic to use. It's a really enjoyable body serum. It's one of my other favorite must-haves from the range. Next, let's talk about Anarose, the Hydrating Rose Toner. So I talked about this on Instagram, and I mentioned that it was so good in the fact that it was so well-rounded, and I stand by that. I have very dry and dehydrated skin, so for me, it's not the product that I'm going to reach for if my skin feels shriveled and raisiny. But it is the kind of toner that I could use every single day and be happy that it's done the job well, it's checked off all the boxes that it needs to, and that it hasn't overwhelmed any one area of treatment, if you will. There's sodium hyaluronate, there's prickly pear stem extract, there's also a little willow bark, which has some natural salicylin in it, which in theory helps to improve the appearance of pores and unclogs the pores over time. Daisy extract, which in theory is brightening. And the second ingredient is rose extract. But the thing to note about this, and then I have to tell you the most important part. It doesn't really smell all that rosy, which I kind of appreciate. It doesn't smell like rose water. You know, any rose water that you've ever smelled, this is not it, right? It's faint though. You can tell that the rose has not been there to fragrance the product, but it's been there for the benefits that rose can have on the skin. And that's consistent through the entire range. The scent levels are really, really low, and that's because Japanese culture is not really in your face with fragrance. And so that MÖN wanted that to reflect in the range from what I remember her telling me. The most important thing to note about this is that even though it's in this spray nozzle kind of application, you don't want to spritz it on the face. It's not a mist, it's a toner. And believe me, I tried misting it, and it just isn't as good as when you apply it the way that MÖN intended. And that's with a cotton pad or spritzed into your hands and pressed into the skin, sort of like an essence or something like that. I prefer a cotton pad because I like the sort of wiping motion, and you really do notice that it's taken some dead skin cells off. It's the kind of toner you could use every single day and not have to worry about it. And I think that's why it really stands out. It's enough of everything that you'd need for a daily toner, and it's done in a way that is very softening on the skin, very smoothing, hydrating, comforting. There's no residue at all. You don't feel any tackiness or stickiness. Your skin does feel prepped, though. You feel like you're ready to put your serum and treatment on after this and get things moving, right? Last but not least, we've got the Akwi Purifying Cleanser. I guess we sort of went slightly in reverse. This is quite interesting. It's sort of a balmy consistency. The first ingredient is castor seed oil, and it does have that sort of dryness that castor can have. It's a very interesting slip. It is on the drier side. I wouldn't call it oily. It definitely has more of a grip, less of a slip, especially if you're using it on hands that don't have a ton of oil that you've just applied to them. But when you smooth it in, things start to kind of, friction is increased a little bit, which really helps you to sort of dislodge any debris that's around the nose area. My skin, like I said, is dry and dehydrated, but it can get congested just depending on what's happening, whether it's product-induced or lifestyle-induced. The nice thing about this is as purifying as it is because of the castor seed oil, because of the gentle surfactants that are in here. Never felt that it has made my skin feel alkaline or uncomfortable or dry or anything like that. It does say that you can rinse, and it does emulsify slightly. And then you can just take the cloth, which I love this cloth. I'll talk about that in a second. And then I tend to wipe it away. I tend to use it as a second cleanse. I don't waste it for makeup. It's also really nice in the morning if you're just feeling a little gross, but you don't want to, strip your skin. You do kind of want to tidy it up a little bit. I love the scent. I love the smell of castor and like citrus together. And there's yuzu in here, which is really nice. It's like earthy and still kind of bright. I think out of all the MÖN products, I use the Aknari and the Argan the most, but I like all of the product. Well, I use the Ayour as well. I don't know. I like all of the products a lot. I think they all stand on their own as great products and as simple products, simple formulas, simple in intention, but not boring in application. You really feel like It's a well-rounded product. It's done what it's supposed to do. It's been enjoyable to use. It's been nice to look at, and it's thoughtful. I think it's a very thoughtful range. They also, like I said, make the washcloth, and then there's a headband. Mine's a little dirty. They're both by MÖN Organic, a Japanese cotton manufacturer. So cute with their little yellow tag. I love this cloth a lot. It's quite thin, and the blue is nice at sort of disguising the look of makeup stains, which is nice. Just got that on my hair. And then the headband is so cute. Although the giveaway will be held on Instagram, I want to include some details here. Although full details and rules will be on the Instagram post. So the winner will receive a travel kit and the washcloth as well. I really love that they have the travel kit because it means you can try everything and really get a feel for the brand without, buying the full size products in the entire collection. If you end up purchasing full sizes of the product, you can keep the small size as well for, to refill if you do take them traveling. And then the cloth is obviously gorgeous and you can take it with you, but I think it's cute. I like to keep it at home tucked away. So I'm actually part of MÖN's affiliate program. And although this video is slightly related, it's not any sort of sponsored video. So part of being an affiliate means that I have a referral link in which I receive commission from if you purchase through my link. I also have a code, which I've never really talked about before, even though it's sort of existed for a couple months. I wanted to wait until the context was appropriate. I didn't just want to say, here's my code. I haven't done a video yet, And the code is TophCam, and I'll list it here. And it's 15% off your order, and it doesn't expire. You can use it for every order that you do. You don't have to use it, but it's a way to get 15% off your order every time, which is always nice. I love saving money. So yeah, again, everything will be linked below. All the information will be below. Be sure to check out the blog post and the Instagram giveaway. And thank you so much to MÖN for sending me home with the collection. I've really enjoyed using it and just knowing you as a friend, and it's been great. And I'm really excited for the winner. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this giveaway. Okay. I think that's everything. If I forgot something, I'll make sure to list it below, but I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.